Hey y'all, hey, what's going on? Hey Mo, what you doing?
Hi, nothing.
Nothing, just nothing. Hi Shamita. Hi One Clockwork Orange. Sorry. Hi Tony and Lou. How are y'all? How's it going? We're just waiting for well, there's Shamita. Shamita, you staying in the background? Hi
Get your
Sam.
butt up here.
Oh, she joined the stream.
Hello.
Now we're all out of order. We're going to be all out of order when Dr. B comes up. Hi.
I might have to jump down if my child doesn't go to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. We're supposed to get a bunch of snow,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Yeah,
they already
our
canceled the
snow.
buses. Yeah. So he's all excited, and he's like, "Why do I have to go to bed now? Like, I don't have school tomorrow." Because it's bedtime.
Because it's bedtime, little boy. Hey, I can't talk today. Hey, Allie, how are you? Hold on, let me get a drink. Something.
They shut our interstate down.
Oh, really? I heard
Yeah.
that they're canceling like garbage, like roadside garbage pickup, and whew,
I live in Virginia, Tony.
It's just windy here. Worst case scenario, they might shut down like the Skyway Bridge. Hey, Team Psych Ward, because of the wind, because it's really super high. But I think that's what it's called. It's one of, I don't know, it's a big bridge here. It's a big, huge deal. I don't know. But
Hey, Sam.
oh, Lord. What a weekend. It's almost back to work. Back to Monday.
I have tomorrow off.
Oh, do you? Well, we don't, I mean, the schools are closed here because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So there's no school, but there's still work. You know how that is.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I took
well,
off to get my hair done, and then she canceled it because of the snow. So,
rude.
right.
Oh wow, Tony,
Me.
y'all are gonna get sleet. I don't that's
Yeah.
one thing I don't miss about Texas. I don't miss the sleet. Mm-mm. I don't miss that
Yeah,
at
we were
all.
supposed to get a foot, and it turned out to be more ice and sleet.
Yeah, I'm gonna that's a hard pass for your girl Jen Lou because I don't do well in the cold. I don't like it. And now I really can't tolerate it because it's like 61 degrees here. And granted, 61 degrees is not cold for other people. Okay, but the brochure did not say anything about winter. And I'm sorry, but 61 degrees is cold when you are used to, 70, 80-degree weather and the winds are like super blustery out of the north. Like it's cold and it cuts through you. And I don't like it. Your blood, I think my blood is thin or something, whatever happens when you live someplace warm for a long time. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan. Mm-mm. Yeah, I remember back when I lived in Texas, they did that. Like, Texas will literally shut down, and the truth of the matter is, like, it doesn't matter how used to, like, snow you are, snow is not ice, and so when we would get ice, everything would be shut down, and, yeah, it's difficult to get anything. Hey, Molson man, how are you doing? Who are you rooting for in the Steelers-Chief game?
Chiefs?
Why are you saying that like I should know that? I only like one team.
Because I got money on the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only like okay, so today the Buccaneers played Philadelphia, and I don't like the Buccaneers any other day, but I especially cannot stand the Eagles because I am a Cowboys fan. And so, hello, the Eagles, we don't, yeah. So I would never, and under any other circumstances, ever root for Tampa Bay. But because they were playing the Eagles, of course I was rooting for them, and they shut it down,
Yeah,
which I thought was hilarious.
I made some good money on the Bucks today. I bet on the Cowboys too. So
Yeah, they're not. It's not looking good, or it wasn't the last time I looked. So, yeah. But it's been a while since I looked, so you might want to check for yourself.
No,
So.
they're losing.
I'm not a college.
Oh no, they lost. It's over.
Yeah,
Shit.
they lost. I'm not a college football fan other than during Texas OU weekend, and then obviously hook 'em horns. Good evening, Crackling Rosie True Crime. How are ya? Yeah, so sorry to you Eagle fans, but I'm not sorry. So sorry, not sorry. But anyway, at least, I mean, I wish that Cowboys would have won, but oh well. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and play the intro, and then we'll get started. Ready? Here we go.
There we go. Oh, Dr. B is coming.
Oh, I forgot to unmute myself. I'm sorry, Molson Man, about your team not making into the playoffs. That's a bummer. I'm sorry. I'm bummed about the Cowboys too. It is what it is, though. Moraine, Momo, the Bills, really?
Yes, the Bills.
Oh my
favorite team.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, before you go, Molson Man, I wanted to tell you that I don't think there's court tomorrow because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I'm working very, very hard, and I'm going to do Pamela Smart tomorrow because I think that testimony is going to resume in the Halderson case Tuesday. So I had to move some stuff around, but I wanted you to know so that because I know you wanted to be here for that. So that's going to be tomorrow night at like 9, I think. All right. Yeah, so okay, perfect. Thank you, Crackling Rosie True Crime. So Tuesday, we're back in court, which gives us an open slot for Monday, which will be the Pam Smart. So we won't be doing whatever happened to Wednesday. It'll be whatever happened to Monday. Haha. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll pick up our notes from the jury box. There's Dr. B.
Sorry I'm late.
No problemo. How do we? I want to arrange us so that we're in the right order where it says juror number. So let me, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm removing all of you guys and then I'm going to add you in the correct order
Okay.
because it's going to bother me. Y'all know how I roll. All right.
I know, OCD.
I know I got all the things. It's bad. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Okay, because there's 4 of us.
4?
4.
What you mean
4?
4?
All right, there we go.
There we go. Now it's
Now,
perfect.
Well,
Yay.
not really, but it'll work.
Why is it? Oh, crap. Let me fix you, Mo. Let me switch you and Shmita. Hold on. It won't let me do it that way. All right. So let me add. Still doesn't do it. Okay. No, it won't do it.
sorry.
I'm supposed to be on the right side, apparently.
I know. I guess so. So I'm upset about that. Oh, well. Oh, well.
Not
All
today,
right.
Satin.
Not today, Satin. Get behind me, Satin. All right. So I guess we're
Let's
gonna
just get going.
yeah, we're gonna start with Detective. I already forgot. Stephen Greiber. I hope I said his name right. Or Graber.
Are we going to
Yeah.
be talking about more ass traps today?
I hope so.
Okay.
But I don't know because I haven't
Me neither.
watched this, so I don't know.
I don't know if I saw this either. So let's dive right in.
Okay, and I feel like this is the one we have to skip forward a little. This is the how he sets it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay, hold on.
All righty.
All right, let me get over here and make this bigger. And then let me add it to the stream. And then let me hit play. All right. Here we go. Oh, I like that tie, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
If you are able to safely and responsibly testify without a mask and are comfortable doing so, please do.
I will, thank you.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Good morning, sir. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good morning, my name is Scott.
Oh, we're all in
Kuntz,
order now.
spelled K-U-N.
Oh, perfect. This is the guy who speaks my language.
I'm a sheriff's deputy with the Dane County Sheriff's Office in
Actually, I
Madison.
don't think
Any
that's the
particular
one.
area?
We'll see.
Yeah, I work in our support services division. And in
Yeah,
the support
I don't think
services
that's the one.
division, I
This
have a
not the
number
right
of
home?
duties assigned to me.
Maybe it
I
is. Let me
conduct
hear.
No,
covert
this is not
surveillance
the right
when
one.
Oh,
we are
okay. I
looking
thought
for
You're right.
criminal suspects and their
Please
activities.
hold.
I think.
I collect video evidence, audio evidence, image evidence.
Right, but I'm trying to give it to them. I'm trying to give it to everybody in order. So this guy,
Or well, maybe he is the one.
Oh, it is the one.
Yeah.
It is. It's my brain skipped English,
oh
so
gosh,
that means I'm excited.
His Kuntz, too. Oh, well.
so
All
what?
right. Sorry about that. Let's
Right.
go.
Right, okay. Ah,
High coolest
Christ.
review.
Now I went too far.
Finally. Oh,
NATIA, N-A-T-I-A, that's the National Technical Investigators Association, as a technical investigator. And that
Hey,
is a
coolest
certification that
reviews.
is earned through examination for your understanding of engineering and electronics as it relates to surveillance.
Are you at any point called upon to teach in these areas of expertise?
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So LEVA is the organization through which I've earned most of my training. And over the time, they have invited me to be a contract instructor for them. So to date, I have over 2,000 hours of instruction around the world for them. I've been fortunate enough to teach across the United States to law enforcement, to crime lab personnel, private investigators, attorneys, throughout Canada, Hong Kong, Singapore, Sweden.
Yeah, you could
Okay,
probably skip
so
his
I was
credentials.
going to. We've established that you're extremely smart and very
'Cause
well
it-
qualified.
Yeah, he
I
takes
feel like-
forever to set it up.
I feel like it's right here is where we want to be.
Was 367 feet. That is quite a distance. When you couple that with a wide angle lens,
Right? Is
Most
this where we
closed
want to
circuit
be,
television
Dr. B?
Yes,
All right,
please. Now
a
this
little,
is
go back a little bit because this is, let me go back a little bit.
yeah, this is now this guy speaks my language. I
All
mean,
right.
I could listen to the reenactments that they do all day long in any trial.
All right. So now we're set. Okay.
Let's
Down into
go.
smaller segments called pixels.
Hit it.
Those pixels are generally little squares
Max,
of information.
hey.
And those pixels are
Hey,
finally
Max.
made up of color channels, reds,
Girl,
greens, and blues.
you're just in time.
So video is what's called an additive process, where we take primary colors of red, green, and blue. They're mixed together to make all the colors that we see in video, secondary colors. The color channels are what we're at issue here, because those color channels allow us to perceive brightness and color in an image. So that's what is of most importance to me in my analysis in this case, was in the pixels, what were the RGB or red, green, blue values of the pixels defining where that flickering light was located.
In slide 14, is this an example of pixels essentially?
That's correct. So on slide 14, I put annotations that show an exaggerated view of what we see, where the image on the left is a sample image from the closed circuit video system at 7022 Bridgman Road. I put an annotation on the left side of 240 and on the bottom 352. That's the pixel count. Vertically, this image is made up of 240 pixels tall, and horizontally 352 pixels wide. On the right side of the screen, I have shown a small portion enlarged to try to show those actual pixels, where they are actual visual little squares of information, just to orient people about the idea that we don't normally see pixels, but in the laboratory, we see them all the time.
Got it. And just because it's come up here and it's going to continue to come up, there's a giant white line across the screen there in that major picture, or that larger picture. What is that?
Yes, in this image, there is a support beam that holds up the decking structure of the second floor patio at the Lynch residence. And obviously that was right in front of the camera. We see that illuminated
I'm
here
excited
because
about
the camera
this,
itself
Mhm.
has
Max.
what's called near infrared capability. It's got illuminators or LEDs around the lens, so that at night you can see in what's an otherwise dark environment. You wouldn't see much with your eyes, but the
How many
camera can see
cases have we
differently than your
covered
eyes can
already
see. And so we see
that
that reflected
involve
here, not only off the ground,
CCTV catching
the
people in the
foreground,
act?
but also off of that
Letitia
beam.
South,
So when we talk
So
about pixels,
many.
the pixels,
Watts.
you pull out
So
an example
many.
there. That example
All
has
of
no
them.
significance other
Uh-huh.
than you just pulled that one out,
Okay,
right?
sorry.
Correct.
I'll
No,
shut
no,
up
no,
now.
you're
Can you
perfect.
identify, or is there a process for identifying where those pixels are on a video that you're looking at?
Yes, there are. So
And we'll move to
Remember
next
the
slide.
last case
yeah, so
that
slide
argued
15, I put a couple
pixels?
examples in here just to try to illustrate. I like to think of it this way. When we
Which
used to
one?
hold paper maps and you're trying to find a street.
It was
or you're
another
trying to
one in
find a city,
Wisconsin.
You'd look in the alphabetical
Very
listing,
recent
you know,
one.
where is East Washington Avenue? You
Pixels,
find it and it would say
pixels,
L6.
pixels.
You
Pinch
follow
and
down a grid
zoom.
of letters,
You
follow
went
over a
down
grid of
there
numbers, kind of an
after
XY
the
coordinate
trial.
thing, and then you'd find where you're looking.
Oh my God.
Same
See,
way
I
here.
already
So the
suppressed
way the
it.
video
I know. See,
is
that's why I
structured,
didn't want to bring.
the
I didn't want to
pixels
give it a
always
name
start with
because
the
it was.
location of zero.
It's
So in the upper
suppressed.
left-hand corner in this
Damn you,
example,
Rittenhouse.
that pixel in the upper left-hand corner would be X position 0, Y position 0, 0, 0. That is its
Well,
location in two-dimensional space.
Got it. And so if we look at the next slide, perhaps the different corner.
Yeah, so the second example here I made in slide
Talk
16 is
talk
the
XY
opposite. The
coordinates
lower
to me,
right-hand
baby.
corner,
This
it's at
is-
its
I know
maximum
these.
X
This is
value. It's
algebra.
all the way to the right. It's at its
I'm good at
maximum
this.
Y value all the way at
Let's
the bottom.
plot
So we
some
would have an
shit.
X, Y coordinate of
Amen.
351, 239. And again, those numbers are
Like
one less
Chandler
than the total
windows.
width and height of that image because we start counting at 0 instead of 1.
So these pixels essentially can be placed on a graph.
Absolutely.
So the question becomes then, the flickering window, what are the XY coordinates of that, correct?
That's what was of concern, yes. Where were they
No,
located?
no,
And so when we
Allie, I
talk about your
haven't looked at
overall
the house
question, which is which
online
windows
yet.
for flickering, this is maybe the 1st
I'm
big question.
keeping,
that has
I'm
to
trying to
answer.
go along
Yes.
with the,
Okay.
you
But there
know,
were some,
with
there
the
were some
weird
challenges
jurors.
in answering that question.
Yes, there were.
All right, let's talk about those challenges.
Yeah,
And-
we're-
and You can start from the top and
Alice
we'll
is
go
on
down.
her BS again. Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all.
so-
Distracted.
Digital multimedia evidence, video, audio, still images, a term called metadata, the data that's
Oh
embedded into
yes,
these files are
metadata.
what's of importance. And when we
Oh,
study
look
digital
out.
multimedia evidence, it's often very different than the type of video you might see from a television station.
because of the metadata we
I had
got.
the good fortune of working for 2 television stations prior to working here, and the goal was to make the
Oh
pictures
my
as pretty as
God.
possible. In forensic video analysis, we're often dealing with data that isn't very good.
Yes, this is the forensic.
It has a lot of
Schmida, we are
challenges, and
not
in
the
this
worst
case, the
jurors.
biggest challenge
Actually,
as
we
I
would
saw
be
it was the
pretty
distance from
good
the lens. So the
jurors.
target,
We're the
the thing we're
funnest
trying to
jurors
observe,
and good
wasn't up
jurors.
close.
Thank you,
It wasn't like I
Schmida.
put a camera in front of somebody or
Yeah.
took a selfie and you fill the frame with the information.
Now you know we
In
would
this
be combing through
investigation,
everything if we were on
the
any
distance from the
jury.
lens at
Yeah, we
Colin
would
Lynch's
be.
house across the
We'll be
pond to
asking
the
the
Halderson residence
judge,
was
like, excuse me,
367
did
feet.
the
And that
DA
is quite a distance.
get
I need
all
a-
the
When you
phone
couple
records?
that with a wide angle lens,
I have some
most
follow-up
closed circuit television
questions.
cameras have a wide angle lens, so they can cover a wide area. You may want to cover your whole front yard or a whole area in an entryway to a business or
Oh,
something.
I would definitely
The
get
wide
yelled
angle
at
lens
by the
makes objects
judge.
appear
Like,
smaller than they really are. So
order
when you
in
have a
the
wide
court.
angle lens coupled with a long distance,
We would be in trouble for
objects
sure, for
appear
sure.
quite small. And if they're small, there's less detail. Video resolution. The idea with video resolution is if, television pictures are rectangular. So if you think back to school, how do you get the area of a rectangle? It's width times height. That's how we calculate what's
I'd be
called
that one
spatial
clumsy
resolution of
juror to
video,
drop
where
the
we would multiply
freaking
the
exhibit.
width in pixels by the height, and that gives
I'd
us
be
our
the one
count.
clumsy
So
juror
if you
that would
have
trip
a
getting
camera
into the
that's
jury
rated as a
box
12 megapixel camera,
over
it's
air.
really just the product of the
I'd be
width
the one
times
that
the height.
says,
That's how
"Can I
you
have
kind
a
of get there.
cigarette break?"
In this case, this video resolution.
Oh, I'd be
is
your best
352
friend.
by
And
240.
Schmida would be the
To give
juror.
you
I'm from the
perspective,
Canadas. I don't know none of
HD
this.
or high definition,
I'd be late.
1920 by 1080. So
Schmida,
the total resolution for
Schmida
every
would be
frame of
like,
video here
I just
is
wrote, I
about
rolled a
4%
joint.
of the area of HD. So we're
Are
not
we gonna
dealing
do
with
this
a
break
very
thing or what?
large data set. We have very
Can I have
limited
some of that
data
water
available
over
to
there
us.
after the
And
last
again,
break?
the
I'm a little
targets are small,
cotton
house
mouth.
windows. That's what was of interest in the investigation.
Not the
The
hand
lighting conditions was
sanitizer.
challenge free. The video in question was at night, so it's dark out. The near infrared lighting from the camera presents two different contrast ranges. So in the foreground, we have a lot of contrast. We have brights, we have darks, we have
Schmida would be
midtones.
raising her hand.
In the
Excuse
distance,
me,
we don't
I'm
have
from
all
the
that
Canadas.
contrast. It's
This
very
is not
dark
how we measure
across
things over
the
there.
backyard and out onto the pond.
Can you
and
translate these
out onto the
measurements?
Halderson's
I'd
property.
like this in centimeters, please.
And finally, one of the biggest ones is what's called lossy, LOSSY,
I
video
mean,
data.
367
Every
feet.
digital
That's
video
like,
recorder
we're talking a
that records
dismemberment
cameras
case.
has to
So
apply what's called
that's
lossy data
confusing. We
compression.
need meters.
The idea is
Correct.
that when
know,
the video files are manufactured in that recorder,
kilometers.
they are not reduced in
I don't know.
logical file size or
Yeah,
how
it's
much
kilometers.
space they take on the hard drive. The average
It's
consumer of
111
Schmida would
that
pull
video
out
meters.
would
all the
only be able to see
pictures.
video for a
This
very
is
short time.
Chazzle
Could be
Dazzle
hours,
during
might be a
band
day.
camp. I
So
can't.
lossy video compression
See,
allows
She really
that's
did
the
find it. She
DVR
dug
to be
that's
out.
able
the
to
thing.
store
Schmida would
days,
absolutely
weeks,
get
or
us
months
kicked
of
off of the
video.
jury because she'd be like, "Girls, come here. Hey, don't tell nobody." But I went ahead and snooped this fool's whole Facebook going back 16 generations. Y'all want to see? And us, because we're nosy. Yes. Can we have a
Let's
break?
start a group chat. Can you imagine like the drama if the jurors had group chats behind the scenes? One. Oh my gosh. The actual journers, just the alts. The alt journers. How many alts you have? 26. Oh, I can't.
We would be the most fun jurors.
Absolutely.
And it's a destructive process. So
Oh, yes.
what happens with
Basically,
lossy
Until we
it's a
video
kept them there
compression is
for a
we
week
start to lose
to
what's called
really
high
comb through everything.
Yeah.
I know,
We'll
right?
stay after.
We would be fun like the first day. By day 2, we'll be like, all right.
We've already put this together. Listen, homeboy, you guilty or you not guilty. Either way, but we put it together.
Bye. Next.
Next.
All right.
Just so everybody knows, it's a little bit over a football field 122 yards.
Now that's even worse. How are you gonna confuse a Bosnian like me talking about football fields? Now you gotta specify what kind of football are we talking.
American football.
No,
If it was the other football, she would say soccer.
then it's gonna be yards, right? So now I'm like, what's a yard?
122 yards. Well, you've
See?
seen a football field.
There's 3 feet in a yard.
Shmita, do you understand any of this?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Traitor. You're supposed
so
to be
much
on the
the
metric system with me.
Not so much the yards, the meters.
Well, it's
I guess.
111 meters there.
How are
111
meters and
so
yards
111
the same?
meter sticks. We have meter sticks. Like we have a stick that we judge by.
We have a yardstick.
Oh, God. It's a good thing they didn't ask us to make this video.
We
Oh,
would have
man.
just went to the Googles. We would have been fine.
We would have had to do something about that beam, though. Now that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. That drove me crazy.
We would be like, look, let me show you. This is
Put
the
a green
original.
screen.
This is the original footage. Okay. We done photoshopped it to make it interesting.
We should have painted it green, or they should have painted it green, so that they can just delete it.
I wouldn't even have thought my camera would pick up his house to even think to look at it from that far away.
Do you hear this, fool? Excuse me.
Was
This
that
is-
Nestor?
No, that would be your girl Alice trying
Oh,
to.
the
Yeah,
cat.
she thinks
Alice
it's
the
fine
cat.
for her to live in the bookcase. Please hold.
Nestor never causes a ruckus
I know.
unless he's
Just
eating cat
pretend he's
poop.
deaf and can't-
Hmm.
She could have hit play before she left.
I know.
Just leave us all hanging.
Well,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
she's the most important juror.
Alice is. Listen,
She's the foreman.
she is. And by the way, if listen, nobody wants to mess with Alice. Okay, we don't need none of her smoke.
No, we don't.
This would be what we put over the that white post.
Yes.
See, perfect. Or this.
Perfect. Yes. That
Max
should be
is getting
put on
mad at you.
Chazzle Dazzle.
Listen to this is going to be our face every time the defense does Shmita doesn't cross-examine. That's our face. All right, I'm pushing play. You're going to get us in trouble.
Frequency details.
We'll be
Things
here
that
all night.
show
We will be.
scars, marks, tattoos.
87
small
hours
details.
later.
Our eyes aren't as sensitive to that. So the idea with the engineering is that let's just discard that information.
Hey, Anita Butts.
We can still communicate the idea and people kind of
I
won't
don't
notice.
know why
I
it makes
just-
me laugh when you
the other
say
thing
that.
can be
Because I love
affected
saying
and is
it.
affected with lossy data compression is color purity. How pure are the colors?
Hey,
So
Anita
if I had a
Butts, you
black
need
shirt
an
on, would it
S-trap?
appear black in the video or would it be some impure color that kind of approximates black? In this case, color was not an issue because the camera was in that nighttime mode. And so the frequencies of near infrared are beyond and infrared are beyond our ability to really see with our eyes. So the camera appears to be black and white when in fact it's a color camera. So these all kind of were in my mind as
Okay, thank you.
Control image with the same.
yeah. So
Yeah, he
one of the
goes
things that I
on
always
really
want to
long
do before
about
we
this.
embark on any kind of reconstructive work at a crime scene is to try to determine, do we have variables that have changed?
Okay.
Perfect.
Right there?
Before we embark on any kind of
Well, no, let's go.
reconstructive work
They're
at a crime
testing the
scene is
light.
to try
Keep
to
going.
determine.
Okay.
Let's
Tell me
see when they
when.
start. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, now
think it's-
pause. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Now
we
let's
want
look at.
apples.
Okay, so this is. What does that say? Offset. Oh, okay. So what-
Offset correction.
Yes, so that's here he's talking about the 7 pixel offset, and then they accounted for that. So you can fast forward that. So they accounted for that offset. So
Okay.
they're saying like,
When
before
they
you
took
start
all
jumping,
the measurements, they fixed that, right? They
yeah,
took that
before
into
you start
account.
jumping down our necks about, oh, it's off 7 pixels and let's call for a mistrial. We already accounted for that. So, so that's the methodology part. So now, okay, now you can play it. Let's go.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is the stuff you don't want.
Oh,
So
definitely
in this
cool. It's with
case,
you.
the signal are the
Oh,
things we're
sorry.
saying we want to record. The noise is generated by the
Okay,
image
let's go.
sensor in the camera.
All right, Baca, calm
The
down.
circuitry in the camera. Noise can be generated by the
What you
compression
mean,
process
hey?
in the digital video recorder. Cumulatively, all these things become visual problems for us to try to see clearly. What frame averaging does for us is instead of just stopping the video on one frame and taking a look and making an assessment, what we do is we take subsequent frames and we mathematically average them together. So the idea is in any sampling, if I just take one sample of a population, I can make an assessment, but that assessment may or may not be right. The reality is we would have to take more samples to know if our result is reflective of the population. If I were to look at one image and say, ooh, there's a flickering window, I might be right, but the reality is I don't know. So I want to sample multiple images. And in this
Might be
case, I
right.
You
sampled
hear
over
that, YouTube
90,000
streets?
images to
Mhm.
make sure that we
Little does he know,
consistently
he
saw
left either
a flickering
way.
light in the same
We're
position
talking to
throughout
you,
that duration of
jumpers to
time. What frame
conclusioners.
averaging does
Mhm.
is it allows us to see mathematically what happened
React
in that
on my
area during that time,
emotions.
because images are just numbers.
Putting
Concluders.
things out
So
as
those
fact
RGB
when they're
values for each
when you might
pixel,
be
if we were
right,
to
but
average
you're
those
not
together over
100%
time,
sure and didn't do
that
no
allows
testing.
us to see what's normally there. Visually, what that
Putting
does
out
for me
information
is it
as if
allows me
it
to
was
more clearly
fact
see
when you
the
get it
edges
from
of that
a
bright
freaking
window in that
email
dark
called
environment.
So using frame
Seymour
averaging, you were able to
Butts
determine what the XY coordinates of the flickering window were.
at
And
gmail.com,
if
and
we're
you think
zoomed
it
in now,
was
obviously really close, I think everyone can
legitimate.
see the
Correct.
timestamp with that white thing on the right. That's
Pay
the
attention.
pole that we've been looking at the whole time, but now we're zoomed in, right?
That's correct.
So at that point, you know the coordinates of this window that was flickering, and you're out there doing this experiment, and you have this guy over there, this other deputy waving the light stick around, and you're going to frame average those images as well to come up with the experiment image, right?
Correct.
All I could think
And
about
so
was
then you're going to start comparing and contrasting. So let's start with the dining room window, the first one. So we're going to move left to right, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so dining room window on the far left.
You see how
What
they
are we
have
looking
all
at
the
there?
windows?
And we'll go through this one with some
covered up?
detail, and then we'll move a little quicker because some of these are going to be quite similar. But what are we looking at there?
Sure. So what I've got here on slide number 30 is a frame averaged image on the left of the flickering window, the questioned image from the night of July 2nd. Its companion to the right is Deputy Wilk in a frame averaged set of images standing in front of the dining room window to try to show the two locations of the flickering window, which is the questioned window, versus the known window, which was dining room window number 1.
Right. On the right image, this is your experiment, and you look to have essentially duct taped an iPad to that pole at this point, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a clock
All
on
right,
there.
now that's top
Yeah, because I
notch.
didn't really know what bulk testing we were going to need to do. And so I took an iPad and just strapped it to the pole to make sure it was in the image, ran a stopwatch so I had a time reference.
I'm not going to
that was
make it through
reliable
strapped
if-
it
if
to
we
a
needed
pole.
to do any time
Sorry.
manipulation in the future.
The time's not going to be relevant. to our
Strapped an
CFO.
iPad to
No.
a pole.
But if anyone's ever confused, the image with the clock on it or that you have on that pole, that's the sample image that you took from your experiment.
Yeah,
That's correct.
I'm
And the
biting
other
my
one is
tongue
the
as
Me
hard
actual
as
too,
I
me
can.
too, me
from
too.
the night of July 2nd, or the early morning hours of July 2nd.
Yes.
I hope we never grow up.
What about the ass
What are we looking
track?
at there?
So in slide 31, these are the same images, just enlarged slightly and cropped to help better focus on the
Full.
area of interest, which is
Oh,
the two windows,
stop.
the question window on the left from the night of July 2nd or the morning of July 2nd rather. And then on the right from our first test in front
I'm
of the
pretty
dining room window.
confident we can read the
Right.
date
So you
and
determine
we can
then
see
the
Mhm.
XY coordinates of.
So basically now they're going to
window.
plot
You
each
already
one
have
of the
those.
windows. So
and then
maybe
the
we can
XY
speed it
coordinates
through.
Of your
Okay,
sample of
should
the
you want
dining
me to
room
play it at a
correct?
faster speed or do you want me to
Yeah,
skip?
faster speed
And you laid
because
those
Okay.
on a graph.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I
This
made in
is
slide
fun.
34 a
See?
graphic
He put it on the
representation to help
graph.
better visually
Okay,
show
so
the
faster
Leave it.
actual
speed, leave it.
locations
Okay,
in
okay,
two-dimensional
okay.
space. So
Mm.
video is just
See,
a
this is why I
two-dimensional
like for you to
representation
share
of
the
that scene.
screen.
So in two
Sorry.
dimensions,
Oh, no, it's all right.
if we were to go to the next slide, the red box on the left is the
See?
location of the dining room
Isn't
light
it
where Deputy
interesting?
Wilkes stood.
It
waved
is.
his
You know what would
light
be
by
even
frame
funnier
average
is if
through
the
to
plot
try to
lines
see on
spelled
average where
out
the light
Chazzle
fell.
Dazzle Guilty.
And on the right
Yeah.
is the location of the flickering window.
You know,
reached a conclusion.
you
Right,
know,
so
I'm
in the
like
first
right
experiment,
next
the
door to
conclusion was that the
Wisconsin,
flickering
right?
light on July 2nd
Yes.
You
was
know,
not
I'm like
coming
a
from the
skip,
dining room
hop,
light,
and a
or the dining window rather.
whatever
Jump.
away,
So
A
just
hop,
jump
skip,
walking
and a
across
jump.
the back side of the Halderson
away
house now
from
on kitchen window 2.
Chazzle Dazzle's kitchen window number 2.
You perform the same experiment with Deputy Wilk, moving the light around.
It would
And
be
if the
interesting to
neighbors ask
recreate
any
that.
questions, just
I
say,
mean-
I'm here for the bodies.
And again, we have our
Yes.
coordinates that
We're
are known
used
of
to
the
it now.
flickering window, the coordinates that you obtained from your
Oops.
experiment, and you laid those on a graph, correct?
I did. So in slide 43, again, a representation of where those
So that's
windows
the
were.
second.
And
And I
the
love that they left the
image
first
or the
one
red
up too, just
Me
block
for
on the
too,
left
for
represents
orientation
the
and comparison. I
location
like
of
that.
kitchen window. And the
There we
red
go.
block on the right is the location of the flickering light from the morning of July
It
2nd.
reminds me of like
You
a
reached a conclusion there.
I did. So like the first
Hey,
experiment, the
Dorothy.
second experiment
Hey,
was that
Dorothy.
the conclusion was that the flickering light was not coming from the kitchen window on July 2nd.
like I wonder what
Keep
was going
kitchen
through
door.
Chazzle
Now we're in
Dazzle's
the third
head
light in from the left at the
as they
kitchen door.
kept approaching that
We have
window.
our
I feel like, you know what, I
images
feel
there,
like
same
what
as
was going
before,
through
of
his
the
head is I
original
should
image,
have paid attention
sample
in
image
math
from the
class.
test,
Or how about I shouldn't have
coordinates we've
killed
been
my
looking at,
parents?
Or
and the
that
coordinates
too.
you were able
I
to
shouldn't
obtain
have
from
did
your
this, man.
experiments. You laid
Oh,
those on a graph as well.
like see, it's like
Yeah, so in
scary.
slides
It's like
52 and
it has
53,
you on
I'm
the edge of your
showing
seat.
in red the
I mean, they
locations of
really
where
did a
those
good
lights were.
They
job
really
with
did
The
this.
a
image
thorough
on the red
job.
area on the left
Wisconsin
is
don't
actually
mess
the kitchen
around,
door light location
Mm-mm.
in 2 dimensions.
especially
And on the
not
right, the flickering light
apparently
located in
the,
the early morning hours of
you
July
know,
2nd.
You reached a
Forensicing.
conclusion there.
yeah.
I did. The flickering light was not coming on July 2nd from the kitchen door.
And they're like, oh,
Now we're on to the
you got the
fireplace
wrong
window.
one, Chazzle.
Fourth window in.
Mm-hmm. Chazzle Dazzle, you looking a little hosed right about now, Shug.
Here on the left,
I don't want to be
the
rude.
original frame average of the original image from the Lynch house in the early morning hours.
Yikes.
Second, on the right, your experiment with Deputy Wilk moving that light around, correct?
Correct.
There are the coordinates that you were able to
Is
obtain
that
from
the
the original
one?
Lynch video.
No.
And on the right, are those the coordinates
Yes.
that you were able to obtain from frame averaging your experiment?
Damn.
They are.
Look at that.
And you laid those
Boom.
on a graph.
I did. So in slides
Oh.
61 and 62 of this presentation, it's hard to show things that are on top of one another. So what I showed in red here was
Come
the
on,
location of the flickering
officer.
window from
It's
July
too much
2nd.
for
And on top of it with green
first the pole,
dots, I showed the
ash trap,
corners
and now on top of each
where our
other.
light
Come
test
on.
showed the location of Deputy Wilkes standing.
Is that perhaps a more zoomed in version of what you were trying to show there?
Okay, we
That's correct.
clearly see that it's the same window.
You reached a
Yes.
conclusion there.
Yes, so in slide 64, the conclusion was clear to me that the flickering light from July 2nd was coming
Agreed,
from
coolest
the
for
fireplace
years.
window, the window
Agreed.
closest to the
It's like a
fireplace.
big puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And then we'll just talk quickly about the remainder, of course.
And see,
You
even
went
though
through all
they
of the
found a
windows on the rear
matching
side on
one,
that
they
first level, correct?
still,
Correct.
Yep.
Now
Continue
talking
to
about the family
compare.
room door, same
Mhm.
process, the original image, the image
To
from the
rule
test.
it
Shmita, I swear, if you click that again.
You laid the coordinates from each one, put them on a graph, and reached a conclusion regarding the family room. And what was that conclusion?
I did. In slide 73, the flickering light on July
I'm on
2nd
to you,
was not
Shmita.
coming from the family room or from the family room door.
Excellent. Then just briefly to TV room 6. So now we're the 6th window over from the left. Same process, the original image, sample image, the coordinates of the pixels. You laid it on a graph and reached a conclusion there. What is that conclusion?
Yes, in slide 82, the flickering light on July 2nd was not coming from the TV window.
So you can't say that it was somebody watching
Now we're
TV.
looking at, lastly, on this image or this PowerPoint, the garage north window. That's that farthest window to the right, correct?
Correct.
Same process.
She likes it.
Your
Coolest
original image,
reviews.
you had your
She does it to
experiment,
me all the time.
And you reached a conclusion there.
Yes, so on slide 86, the conclusion
Yeah,
on
I
that
do.
experiment was that the flickering light on July 2nd was not coming from the garage north
Ellie.
window.
Just briefly tell us about this slide and why you included it.
So in slide
I do
87,
too.
Look at the
this is
look at the
image
perspective of the window.
80,389
Wow,
from the
Chazzle
crime
Dazzle,
scene
you're
video that I
not
recorded
smart,
throughout
are
the
you?
No,
scene.
Chazzle.
And it shows the window from the inside
Oh man,
closest to
at
the
least put
fireplace.
like
This is
some
what I've been referring
freaking
to in
curtains
the
on.
experiments as fireplace window number 4.
And it is your conclusion that it was this window that was the source of the flickering light in the early morning hours of July 2nd.
Yes.
What an idiot.
Hey,
In
Heather,
my
whatever.
opinion.
What's going on?
It
Hey,
calculates an uncertainty there,
Heather.
correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So whenever we're
You've missed
doing
some doozies. You've
experiments
missed
with
some
data,
ash trap. You've missed some
it's
pole,
important
and
to
you've
try
missed
to
them on top of each
identify any
other.
Well,
uncertainties, things that we can know. Some
detective
people
said
call
that
them
they
error
strapped
rates.
an iPad to his
I don't
pole
know if that
and
terminology
then
is exactly appropriate in
they
this
placed them
discipline.
on top of each other.
Uncertainties are the
The
terminology that I
fan,
received in
yes,
my
the
training
fan's there.
from the folks at the FBI and doing
And then the
reverse
idiot.
projection. There's
I
certain
need to stop
certainties that we
doing
can
that.
calculate.
Look
And
at
there's certain
this-
things we
Dazzle.
cannot
This
calculate because we'll
court
never know.
reporters.
In this case,
Messy bun.
there
That's a
was
good messy
an
bun, ma'am.
uncertainty that could be calculated.
I
and
like
that's called
I like her
resolution
colors.
uncertainty. So on slide 88 here, I listed it's the smallest possible measure that can be deduced from a two-dimensional recording. And that's affected by the camera, lens, recording, all the factors that I mentioned earlier. So we want to say what in terms of granularity, what's the smallest thing we could see from this recording?
Okay. And you included a photograph there.
Yes, so in slide 89, I've annotated the dimensions of the windows that I took with a Stanley tape measure when I was in the Halderson's backyard to have an idea
Oh
of
my God,
what is
like
the
he literally
actual
like did
measurement
it like
of those
right there.
windows
Yeah, he
versus the
did.
perceived
Like at the
measurements
front
in
of
terms
his
of pixels on the recording.
like front window.
And you calculated
Yes.
some
Can't.
uncertainty there.
I
I know.
can't.
I know.
Yes, so here I've put side by side
Well, they
the
didn't
same
have air
window,
conditioning,
fireplace window
and it was
4. On the
like
left,
82
the height
degrees
was 49 inches
outside.
tall. On
And
video,
oh
on the
my
right, it was 4
goodness.
pixels
You know,
tall.
the house had to be
And
hot as
likewise, the
hell.
horizontal measurement.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? They didn't have AC. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't have air conditioning in that house. Somebody
What?
said it during the trial.
No, the HVAC guy, they did have AC. They were trying to get a dual system where you have it's one system, 2 thermostats. I asked the HVAC guy I know that I occasionally sleep with. That's my husband. That was my expert testimony. I outsourced. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
he
my
did
God.
say in his interview that the AC gave both his parents bloody noses.
Well, if the AC gave his parents, but in the car, yes.
That's because he was full of shit.
That's because he had to account
Right.
for blood being in their car, pools of blood
Excuse
that
me.
shouldn't have been there.
Correct. But
That
I
was
could have sworn I
yeah.
thought they said they didn't have AC. That's why they had all those fans. Because every room had a fan in it.
What's this about? On my channel or on this channel or True Psych Ward's channel? What investigation? What you mean investigation? Well, the
See,
AC.
Allie, I'm
I-
not crazy.
It's not that I never said that you were crazy.
The moral of the story is don't be full of shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying that that's
On the
what
left,
the
72
AC
inches
guy
wide
was there
that
to do.
window. On video, it was 6 pixels wide.
He was there to give
So
an
if we do
estimate.
the mathematics on it, on the next slide
Which,
here, it'll
spoiler
show
alert,
if we
hold on a
divide
second.
72 inches.
Spoiler alert also requires mathematics and measurements because you got to figure out where your zones are and all that. Lonnie's, my husband's told me all about it all the time. I've tuned it out, but I could repeat it. But I'll spare you guys on what they have to do. But that's what that's what the guy was out there to do that day. Not install a whole something they didn't have before.
I'm laughing
Wide
at coolest
by 6
reviews.
pixels wide, we end up with 12 inches per pixel horizontally. So every time we saw one of those little squares in video, It represented a measurement of approximately 12 inches. So we wouldn't see a little tiny detail like you would if you took a selfie or you had a camera up close. 12 inches horizontal, and vertically, mathematically, it came out to 12 1/4 inches. So anything smaller than that, we just can't tell from that distance.
Okay. So after calculating the uncertainty and looking into all the variables and all of your work, based on your training and experience, is it your testimony that in fact,
Let me tell you
fireplace window
something, it's
4
paid
That's
off
what I
because
would be scribbling on my notepad
Really
in the
long
jury
hours.
box.
Yes, it is.
You might want to take a drink
it's
of water.
paid
I'm just
off.
gonna ask
I've
to approach the
literally
judge here
never
for a
had to
second.
pay for service on my AC.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
for Pete's sake.
Now let's just dramatic. Jazzle.
40 minutes, 40. We've been here an hour. If you're okay for the next 40 minutes, we'll go ahead and proceed forward. If anybody needs the break now, we'll take it. Does anybody need to break now, or can we go forward? Let's go forward. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Hey, you're okay, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
No one asked you, I guess.
I'm sorry.
All right.
After essentially concluding in this case, the fireplace window
Hey,
4
Lupe.
was the source of the flickering light. You were actually asked to look at the video itself and do some work on the video to put it in a more presentable fashion of those early morning hours of July 2nd.
Yes.
What did you do?
So there was a lot more video that we had than what, we're going to present today. But the main focus in this part of the investigation was that flickering light. So I took the video, enlarged the video, and I was asked to try to speed it up so we didn't have to look at hours of video, is to try to take portions and speed it up in terms of frame rate. So it would go much faster than real time. We still see the effect of the flickering light, and at other portions to let it run at one time speed so that we could see it in real time.
I
And then
promise
just
I
kind of
shan't.
show the duration of that morning, what was seen in that window, fireplace window number 4.
Sure. And just so everyone's on the same page, when you say you enlarge the video, are you confident that you're staying authentic to the video, or that you're not altering it in any way?
That's right. And whenever I do enlargements in the laboratory, I do it in multiple fashions so that I can try to see the visual effect of different types of enlargements that can be done.
I'm showing what's been marked in this case is exhibit number 315. At least from the labels on this, does this appear to be the video presentation that you put together regarding the early morning hours of July 2nd at the Halderson home in that flickering window?
It does.
All right, I'll move 315 into evidence and ask to publish it.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received. It may be published.
Why didn't they ask him to actually do the math? Right there on a chalkboard. I would have. I mean, it's their only hope.
And while the detective is queuing that up, video's, I think, 35, 40 minutes long, around there.
I think so, yes.
Okay. I'll mostly sit silent, and I understand the video is silent, but I'll promise you the jury's already had a couple opportunities to watch long, silent videos in this case. But I may chime in at times and pause it to ask you questions about why you chose to speed up or slow down during certain portions. And in fact, when we start playing the video, we'll pause it and I'll just have you explain what the jury's looking at briefly.
They have trouble playing the videos, so they go to break. So I don't know when that is on this video that Allie has. Yeah, you don't want to watch all that.
All right. That's that one. All right, hold on. Oh, crap. Hold on a second.
Crackling Rose. That's funny.
I forgot what I was doing. Oh. This is the
Burning
one.
heads. And his mom wasn't a little lady. So that was a lot of fat to cut through.
That's not the hard part to cut through.
Well, to burn, that's probably why the fire burned so bright.
Well, yeah. Or, I didn't skip ahead. It was over. Coolest reviews.
Okay, so are we on to the next one? Oh,
We
we're
are.
on to Kuntz.
Yes. Please say it. I hope it's said pronounced a different way. Please, 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 please,
Kuntz.
please. No, yeah, I don't think I don't want the long U. I want the short U.
Kuntz.
No. No, that's still the long.
Thank you. Please be
The
seated.
short would be
Oh,
yeah.
Attorney Brown.
Sorry about that, everyone. Before we get going with the video, Deputy Kuntz, the PowerPoint we just looked at, has it been printed off, and is that Exhibit 309?
It is.
And does that appear to be the entire PowerPoint?
It does.
Okay.
See, I don't know why they changed his name.
It is received.
What do you mean? What they just a second here? Momo
So
has
so
an
before we're gonna now
objection.
His name in the last video was something else. Because I thought it was Scott Kuntz, and in the last video it said Deputy somebody else.
Yeah, because we skipped through that.
Oh, okay.
We skipped through the other person's testimony.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Are we all on the same page now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie.
begin playing the video. It's a little over 35 minutes long. And again, just putting everyone in the right mindset. We're talking about the early morning hours of July 2nd. And in fact, there'll be a timestamp on this, correct?
That is correct.
All right, we'll begin playing.
I'm never serious. I mean, I am serious
And as
sometimes,
it's
but
playing,
hardly
what is the number
ever.
in the bottom left corner that's moving rapidly?
So in the lower left corner, I added frame numbers. So each frame has an individual number.
And there you've labeled the windows.
That is correct.
And obviously, we've talked before, but you've identified the flickering light as being that number 4 fireplace window.
That is correct.
I want to look at something. Oh, they covered the windows, that's not how they were originally.
Right. They put trash bags or something over the windows.
Ah.
The investigators.
Okay.
And there you've overlaid those labels onto the Zoom.
Obviously, you wouldn't been able to see the flickering
That is
lights if
correct.
Chandler
At
had
the
been
time,
smart enough to
but they're
cover the
very
windows.
Well,
this is
when I
fascinating.
let me
That's
push
correct.
pause and address juror number 4. Alls I was going to say, at first I thought that they were solar screens, but then when I made it over to where I'm sharing it and it's bigger, now I can see that there was that corner that was coming off. So I really answered my own question out loud, juror number 4.
Well,
If we look at
y'all
the far
watch. You
left,
can see him
there's
in
a
the.
smaller image.
All right.
The whole image
All right.
before you zoomed in.
Yes. So the image on the left is the actual size of the video that we received without modifications in size.
And just switched from 9x to 1x. What does that mean?
So I was asked by Detective Sims in preparation for trial to take portions of the flickering light throughout the evening and run it faster than real time, just in the interest of the court's time. And in other sections, just to run it at normal speed, 1x. So those annotations were added by me.
Oh my God.
I think the silence like adds to the, like tension in the courtroom.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. On a big screen, it gives you goosebumps. I
Yeah.
would agree, Max.
Because I have been a cigarette smoker for a long, long time. And I always smoked outside. And there have been times when I've been outside looking at the house, in the dark. And that is not a TV flicker.
Yeah, I made a video where I blew up part of it, but you couldn't really see much more than you can in this. And I think they think when he went to when the kitchen window light comes on is when the door fireplace blew out and he had to go get water.
I thought he put water on it and that's what caused it to blow out. No?
I can't remember. I think it lights up real bright and then the kitchen window comes on. We'll have to see.
There's the kitchen that came on.
No, Max, she didn't come until I think the 4th. This is on the 1st.
No, she spent the night, one of the nights, because of the couch fort situation.
Oh yeah, she came twice.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I can't remember. But I don't think it was the next day.
The first was Friday, right? Well, no, that can't be right. If Sunday was the 4th, Saturday was the 3rd, Friday was the 2nd, Thursday was the 1st. She spent the night Friday night. She did come the next day.
Oh, wow. So he didn't sleep at all.
No. And I feel like this clock started at roughly 12:25 a.m., right? So, okay.
I don't think it goes to almost 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. We have her testimony. We could find out. But I'm pretty sure that she spent the night Friday night because Saturday is the day that he said he was doing chores and needed space. And that's the day that she took the snapshot, the screenshot of his location on Snapchat. Me either, Lupe. Now, I might have cussed at them a
We'll
time or
continue.
two. Not at them, but cussed while I was talking.
Just as we're watching this, sometimes it does go
Okay,
down
thank
to
you,
1 times
Max.
speed, and sometimes it's at 9. How did you make those decisions?
Well, I didn't make the decisions based on time. The times of regular speed versus accelerated speed were given to me by Detective Sims. And what I deduced from it was when we saw brighter lights, things like
See
that.
right there? I swear you
some of
can
the
see him.
areas, to run it at normal speed. And times in between where it wasn't as bright or there wasn't as much
Hold
to
on, let
see,
me look.
that's when it kind of went into the faster mode. Not exclusively, but for the most part.
Thank you.
Mm. It's kind of hard to
See, doesn't it look like a head right there?
I don't know. Because I feel like, I mean, yeah, it looks like there is something there, but we're seeing the light from the inside of the fireplace reflecting onto the window. And that is different. Now, see, the times when it goes dark, that is when I would say maybe that's him walking in front of it, because he would be a solid mass. You know what I mean? I don't know, though.
I don't know. It's really interesting, but all they have to do is put doubt in one person's
I know.
mind, and
But I really just don't see how. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, there's no way that's a TV. Plus, he gets up at 6 a.m. every day. He wouldn't be awake at. Well, never mind. People sleep with the TV on, Jen.
but they could say it's like the dog running around the house. It'd be very hard to. It's very compelling, but it'd be very hard to. I don't know.
They're saying this is when he burned the bodies, and that's the fireplace light in the window.
Sorry, Mo, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was rude.
That's
I
all right.
apologize. I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt.
Coolest Reviews asked what we were looking at.
I'm looking now, and I see that. Yeah, I feel like the situation, if it were him as a solid mass, nothing can, you take away the light because your body is solid. So I think that I don't think it would look like that. I think, Mo, what you might be seeing is the chairs from that table.
Yeah, I was just thinking now that I remember there is a table there, so I don't know if you'd be able to even see his head now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the table. I think that what we're seeing that is the chairs. See, Rita, I am wondering about an accelerant, and I'm kind of actually thinking that he wouldn't want to use gasoline or even lighter fluid because that would be dangerous. I'm wondering if he used the alcohol and that the liquor that he said, and that's why he had to add that to the story, because if his brother came to the house and noticed that the alcohol was gone, he would have to account for it. You know what I mean?
I don't remember the defense asking him any questions about this.
I probably didn't. But you know what I was just thinking?
Mm-mm.
Sharp or a plotter, Allie? The dogs. Can you imagine what that smelled like to them? Their noses are 1,000 times more
I
sensitive
know.
to us than ours. And they knew what was going on.
Right, because they had to be there when he was cutting them up,
Mm-hmm.
and he's tossing in their body parts, tossing in their heads. So sick.
See, that's the part that I can't get around is the head, because burning hair has a very distinct smell and it does not leave. So I'm very curious about that, because she said it smelled smoky. That's not the same as burnt hair. She's a girl.
We'll continue
Surely
playing,
she's
Deputy.
used
I'll
a
just
curling iron or a flat iron a time or
ask
two in her
a
life. You
question to
know
put
what
everything in context. In
singed
the
hair
next
smells
20
like.
minutes to a half hour or so of this video, as it's sped up, there's going to be times in which that window grows brighter and then maybe other lights come on, correct?
That is correct.
See, this is what I was talking about.
And that'll happen in the
All
next
right.
20 minutes or so of the video, but it's sped up, obviously.
This is where I think they think the door blew out
I see.
from the fat burning.
See, now I think we're going to have to go over the timeline of her and his conversations about their plans for the weekend.
I swear you can see him. This is like the van doors in the Gabby case.
I just don't think there's a way for us to okay, is it possible that he crossed in front of the window and turned on the kitchen light? Well, of course it is. But I don't think that we would be able to make a distinct or final, like absolute determination because of how this is.
Right.
And I think we are seeing a silhouette, but I don't think we're at all. I think the majority of the time, the silhouette we're seeing is from that table and chairs. That's what I think.
I don't think they found his mom's torso.
No, just the legs so far is what I've heard.
Just one leg and an ankle.
Oh, just one leg. Well, damn. Okay. But the prosecution in their opening statement, they mentioned like all around the town and like
Mm-hmm.
weird things. So I think they're kind of just focusing on
What they
body
could,
types and areas that they can connect him to.
or body parts that they were able to recover, because
So I just noted around 2:59, you switched to 1 times speed, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, watch right here.
all right, I'm watching.
See?
I'm gonna hold
Now
on.
some
See how
additional lights
bright
have
it
been
is?
illuminated.
Yes.
You've identified those as kitchen window, kitchen door. and
That's
some-
correct.
Some dining room one.
It'll be nice to get our hands on like this actual footage. Because you
Yeah.
can see like when they're recording it, it's got like that glare on it and just random things
Right.
from the projector.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
TV.
yeah. Because it's a recording of a recording.
Yeah, so
And fair to say that just about at the.
Yeah,
just
that's
before the
right,
3 a.m.
because it
mark,
was way
the
too
fireplace window,
dangerous for
appeared
them
go dark
to
for a second.
go in the river.
It did.
Yeah.
I know they said they tried to search the dump, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
they did a big area. They did search a big area, but I don't. But if he put them in like public trash cans too, like ugh.
But this is the part that I don't understand, is why, if he put them places that he wasn't connected to, why didn't he put all of them in places where they weren't connected to? The only thing that I can think of is that they had to be found. At least part of them had to be found, because if his intention was to do this because he was going to get the life insurance money without an actual body, you have to wait to be able to declare somebody deceased, and that takes years.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why he would put them someplace he could be directly connected to. It makes sense for
But
them.
if he had his phone on him for the Snapchat location, then they would have had his, like, clearly his phone was on. So when they pulled his cell records, could they not just trace him that way?
He must not have had it with him.
Yeah, but the Snapchat showed the location
Right, but
when he
that's
went with the
because,
mom.
yeah, because he took his phone with him at that point. What I'm saying is, when he went around to the other places, maybe he didn't.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I bet you that when he took his phone with him on that Saturday, it was an accident. He was rushed.
Yeah, because he wanted to have movies
Plus,
and
she
stuff.
asked him. I think she asked him where he was, so he probably knew not to take it the next time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to revisit her testimony at some
Mhm.
point at a later time. Let's see what the defense puts on, if anything.
Mhm.
Doesn't sound like they will, but I'm looking forward to it. So
I'm very
it's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what their defense is going to be. Well, see, I thought about that too, Lupe. But the thing is if his motive for all of this was in an effort to a cover up the fact that he didn't have a job and all that stuff, surely he knew that he had to have known when when he committed this crime they were going to look into him and that was going to come out. So I really don't think that was his motive. I think the motive was the money. And the fact is that you have, without a body, it's different states have different time limits, but it's not months, it's years. Especially when you're talking about an adult, because adults have the right to go missing if they want to. So if his intention was to get his paws on that life insurance money, some part of them had to be found.
Yeah, Max, I think the torso or even some body parts were still in the freezer the night the girlfriend slept over.
Yes, they were. They had to have been. Because they asked her about the ice. Which is when she testified, that was a defining moment, because even though she had her mask on, you could see the minute it all clicked. Now, what she thought after that or why that was, that could go, multiple ways, but there was definitely a face that she made when she realized why he was asking her that on redirect. I don't know about Wisconsin. That would be a better question for Dr. B, but I do know that in most states, the minute you do anything to cover your tracks, that negates the insanity plea. Dr. B, what you know about Wisconsin?
That's correct. He is clearly demonstrating throughout this entire process his ability to tell right from wrong. And then to claim that there's a mental illness that would cause him to lose that ability to be able to tell right from wrong. In the moment that this all happened, there would have to be some sort of history of any sort of mental illness, which there isn't that I'm aware of. And even if there was, then we would have to reevaluate. But I would say no, absolutely. No kind of indication or indicators of this being due to a mental illness, unless you want to call, chazzle dazzle. I don't know. Whatever.
He's for sure guilty of coming up with I got to say, it's not the best, but it's not the worst Snapchat name ever.
He's like a Grant Amato.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's what I'm getting here. That's the vibes that I'm getting is Grant Amato all the way. Like, I don't want to say spoiled, but, ultimately.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like the
entitled
aura or the vibe that they're kind of like giving off. So
I swear to God, Shmita, I keep wanting to address this and she keeps on highlighting it. Shmita! Judge! Number 3.
I keep thinking it's me. I'm like,
No,
oh
it's me.
shit, what did I click again? And then
No, it's me. I want to highlight it. I don't know. Probably, yes, Allie, but no, because he couldn't have done that with the hopes of getting an undetermined cause of COD because the gunshots were to the torso, and the torso was recovered. So I think he was doing it. I think that I think he wanted, like I said, I think he realized that. I think his intention was probably to make them disappear, all of the parts. And then I think what he realized is he couldn't do that. And so they had to be found. Parts of them had to be found. And I think likely what caused the hugest amount of light is probably his mom's torso. And I say that because breasts are comprised of mainly fat. And women have, even in shape, normal BMI and all that, we have a layer of fat on over our abdominal wall that men don't have. It's because we carry children. So I think that might be why. And I think that he realized, oh, hey, something has to be found. And after the situation occurred with the fireplace door, I think that it was out of, I think it was the last resort, which is why.
I don't know why he didn't dump him at the cabin.
You know why? I think that, sorry, I think he was, I don't know, something was going on, because even the way that like that he decided to dismember them, like they were still fully clothed from the waist down.
Mhm.
So like he just basically just cut through the pants, and so there's like an element of like just I want to
Rushed.
get this over with.
Yeah,
And
he was hurried,
yeah.
which is what makes me think that his intention was to get rid of all of the parts in the fireplace, and having a
Yes.
plan and then the realization and all of the things that go into that. I think that the torso was his father's torso was the last thing. And I think that I think that's why it is where it is.
I'm looking forward to closing arguments, because
Mhm.
I think that's really going to help us like put it all together.
Mhm.
Because I mean, it sounds like, not only sounds like, but it looks like they have a lot.
They do. They do.
I thought the garage window came on at some point, but maybe not.
It did way earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like around sometime between right around the 1 a.m., somewhere between 1 and 1:30.
Oh, okay.
And I think that the fact that he didn't clean out the ash, almost said it, ash trap. I did say it. It shows that he did not believe that he would get caught. He believed that his story would be believable because he didn't account for them ever checking any of that. If he really wanted to do the most thorough job ever, he would have gotten a shop vac and cleaned that ash trap out.
Yeah, I think they found like remains or
They did. They
DNA, something in a
They found
vacuum.
they found bone fragments. Oh, in the vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they
but-
found like tissue or something.
Yeah, you see again, why in a regular vacuum, not a shop vac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just laziness, frankly. Which coolest reviews, that's why I think that he used the liquor as an accelerant. It's not
Okay.
it's not easy to
It was a long video to watch.
use
Fair to say
fire
that
to
in your
destroy a
profession,
body.
watching long pieces of video where nothing's going on is just part of what you do.
It all has to be searched, yes.
I appreciate you speeding it up so we didn't have to watch the 4 or 5 hours there. Just a couple last questions. Based on your analysis, when we went through the PowerPoint, the reverse projection, your view of the camera system, and all of your expert analysis in this case, are you confident that that window that we saw at around 3 a.m. that was very, very bright and then just in a snap went dark, are you confident that that is the fireplace window 4?
Yes, I am.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused
You may be excused.
and released.
I'll make a decision on that
All
maybe
right.
at the lunch break.
Thank you, Deputy. You're
Thank you.
excused from the remainder of today, and I don't think there are any exhibits in front of you.
No.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk about it. So, first of all, I'd like to say I don't understand what the defense is doing, because it's not like they asked you if you wanted something from the vending machine or if you would like to take something off of the charcuterie tray. No, thank you. What are you doing? You're passing up. No, you have no questions. It just makes no sense to me at all.
I agree. Like, not a single question.
None. None. Absolutely none. I've never seen anything like this.
I don't know. If they were my lawyers, I would be like, what in the hell?
See, no, Tony, okay, I think that he would have I think he realized on some level, right, that the minute he reported his parents missing, obviously you know that because he lives in the house and he would have been the person reporting, that he was going to be asked 11 billion questions. Okay. So I don't think that, and it would have come out that he was not employed. I don't think that was his plan at all. I think he just wanted to get his paws on the life insurance money and figure it out from there. That would give him a good buffer to continue to play video games and, to use his words, shit the day away, until he could come up with plan Q or whatever number he was, or letter he was on. Yeah, Rita, and I get that. But so much of this case is going to be is based on really forensic testimony, and that's the truth. And to not ask any questions of any of the experts, that I don't understand.
I bet you anything he'll appeal on ineffective counsel.
I was just thinking that juror number 4.
I mean,
Four?
he can try, but the fact of the matter is that not cross-examining is not is not an indicator of an ineffective assistance of counsel claim. If that's all he's going to base it on, he's not going to get it. They're
Well,
very
right.
difficult appeals to
Right,
mount.
but yeah, who knows like what the, bigger picture and the strategy is.
Right. Well, we'd have to wait and to see until
Yeah.
for them to put on a defense. We'll have
Watch
to
them
see
have
what
no defense.
they have to have, because they have to. They have to. They have to. They're going to call somebody.
Well, I've seen a trial where they didn't do anything.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible. What I'm
Maybe
saying,
Chazzle Dazzle thinks he can Chazzle Dazzle his way out of this one too, and he's his only witness.
that's what I'm wondering.
hope
is
so.
I'm wondering if he's going to take the stand.
I mean, let's think about this.
He would be ignorant
Considering
too, but I
that
have a
there's no
feeling he will.
defense really to prove anything other than a ridiculous story. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait.
Well, look at this. Think about this. Look at Robert Durst. The first murder that he was ever charged with and went to trial over was very similar to what we have here. He shot the victim, he dismembered the victim, and instead of burning the body, he placed the body parts in the Gulf of Mexico. Not all the way out there, but just in like the bay. And he got off as self-defense.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to prove that his mom was in self-defense like 2 hours
No, I
after
know,
the
but I'm
dad.
saying no, I know that. But what I'm saying is that what
No, I
convinced
know. I
those
get what you're
jurors,
saying.
yeah,
I
what
was
convinced
just,
those jurors is him taking the stand.
yeah.
And maybe
Plus,
that's what
these are public defenders.
Are they?
Well, who would pay for his lawyers?
I mean, I don't know.
he had money.
SpaceX.
No, he had money.
SpaceX.
He had money.
How did he have money?
Did you not hear the testimony of the detective that did the forensic proof of life, where he pulled all of the bank records?
He didn't have $5 to get a soda.
No, he didn't want to spend $5 to get a soda. He had an account. I don't think he had access to the account. But there was an account in his and his dad's name. I thought it was a mistake when the detective was testifying. And initially he did make that mistake, but then he clarified and said that there was also an account in Chandler and his dad's name.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Just because he conned his girlfriend into paying for everything doesn't mean that that's what you would think. But the truth is I don't think I think what he did was he had her paying for stuff, because I don't think that he had access to that, sole access to that account, because his dad's name was on it. That might have been like a college fund or whatever. But should something happen to your parents and you're on the joint account, who gets that money that's in that account? Well, they are no longer alive. You get access to the account.
Even if you're accused of killing them?
Well, it's still your money. Yeah.
So, does the brother have a case against him for like the wrongful death?
He could.
I would. I hope he does.
Yeah, he could. He could sue him. Yep. Well, let me find out. Let me hit up these Googles real quick and find out if his lawyers are paid for lawyers or public defenders. Oh my God. Let's see. Huh. Well, that's not helpful, but this is helpful for her name.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, I lost y'all for a second. Oh my goodness.
Oh crap.
Yeah, it's Assistant State Public Defender Catherine Dole.
Oh, you were still looking for the thing?
Uh-huh.
Got it.
But okay. But does it say that she is acting as his attorney from the public defender's office? Because attorneys who are public defenders also have their own practices where they take on paying clients.
It says Halderson's attorney, Assistant State Public Defender Catherine
There you go.
Dole,
Okay.
urged jurors not to assume anything about what happened in Halderson's lifestyle.
What does that mean with the lifestyle?
I don't know. That's what she said, I guess, in the opening.
Well,
don't
yeah, I
remember.
mean, I heard her talk about the assumption thing.
Yeah, I never heard her talk
Oh, it
about
says-
lifestyle either.
It says prosecutor Halderson's father about to expose son's lifestyle lies before homicide.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm not
weird way to-
sure.
That's a weird way to put it. Lifestyle is, I don't know. I know what I mean. It makes you think, it puts a different kind of connotation in your head. The truth of the matter is, I mean, I suppose you could say that being a gamer all day, every day, and lying about going to work and having a job and all the things is a lifestyle choice, I suppose. That's just weird. It's just a weird way to put it.
Another defense attorney said that's not affiliated with the case said she would have asked for a mistrial over the COVID test.
Why?
I have no idea. Oh,
Well,
I
you're
guess I could click it. I was just reading the Googles. She said she would have asked for a mistrial over the COVID-19 delay if she was on the defense team. She would have concerns about taking a break in the middle of the state's case, given the unprecedented nature of the situation. I guess because the jury.
For a mistrial based on
I guess-
that.
Yeah, I guess she's saying because the jury will be off for so long.
Yeah, but it's a pandemic, so I don't know.
And the jury coming across information about the trial during the downtime they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
Well, whoever committed this crime should have thought about that when they committed it during a pandemic.
Right. And the fact is I mean, listen, if she could have asked for a mistrial, but the trouble with it is that this is unprecedented, which means that it would be precedent setting. and you have to
It'd
be
be a
very,
landmark case.
yeah, and you would have
This
to
guy
be,
is not the poster boy.
no, he's not. And what do you mean by what's not a HIPAA violation? Rita, I did I miss something? Because I don't know what I missed.
I think he's gonna try to, if anything, they're gonna try to play up this concussion.
Yes, and make it seem like
It was a personality change due to a
yeah,
traumatic brain injury or something.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So I just want to explain a little bit about what a HIPAA violation actually would be. So the only people who are subject to HIPAA laws would be doctors, nurses, the people that actually would be handling your records. Those are the, like, you know, and those are the people that are bound by HIPAA laws. Okay. Just, no, no. Just mentioning the fact that he tested positive is not a violation of HIPAA. Now, if his doctor held a press conference and said that he had tested positive, yes, that would be different. But this is not a HIPAA violation. The only people that are bound by HIPAA law are people that work in the medical field or have access to medical records. So medical coder
Also,
and billers and stuff. Go ahead, Dr. B.
sorry. Also, like when people are arrested, even if they're presumed innocent, you're giving up a lot of your rights. And in a pandemic, I don't think, you know, inmates in jail get the choice of whether or not their results are posted or not.
Right. This is different. This is so because of the current situation that we're in, right? Um, this kind of a test, those results have to be told. This isn't like they leaked his HIV status, which obviously doesn't apply here, but just for an example, that would be different. But this has to be told because of the nature of, the vid, and so that's why. But I just don't think. I don't think that I don't think the judge would have granted him a mistrial. I really don't. But so, like, think about it in this way. Back at the beginning of this, after the lockdown, the lockdowns were lifted. Nobody was, people, and the kids started going back to school. Where I live, when a person in the school, whether it would be a student or staff, tested positive, you got an automated call. Now, they would never tell you who it was, right? But you would get, there were two different calls that went out. One was a general information call, okay, saying that somebody did, okay. Then there would be the second call, which would be the contract tracing that they do. And if if your child came into contact with patient zero, as it were, you would get a different call, but they would still never say who it was. But in this situation, I think it's just different. So it's not a HIPAA violation. Well, what do you girls think?
Very, very interesting. We're not allowed to make a ruling yet.
This is one of my favorite testimonies.
It really was.
Yeah, the state's done a very thorough job, in my opinion.
I know. I've been watching a lot right along with you girls, all the days, and I gotta tell you, I usually can spot at least one loophole, and so far, I can't.
Yeah, the only loophole the defense has tried to say is that that tree might not be the same tree in the picture. Which clearly it is.
But it yeah.
I mean, and you don't even really need his mom's stuff.
No. No, you don't. Which is why they're separate. The truth is that let's say we were for reals on the jury, all right? Let's say I don't believe that they proved that that tree is the same tree or that spot is the same spot, okay? So I don't want to find him guilty of the counts against his mom. The jury could find him not guilty with respect to Krista Halderson and find him guilty with respect to Bart, and it would change nothing. He would still go away for life.
Correct.
So
But I don't
Yeah,
even know
that
how
was-
you're going to argue about the tree when he took a picture there and his mom's leg was found there. Like, okay, so that's just a coincidence.
well, if you wanted to if they really wanted to go into it, all right. That tree, frankly, isn't distinctive enough to be that for anybody to be able to say that is the specific tree. It's just not distinctive enough. It's a tree. A tree is a tree. All right.
It
But
was pretty distinctive. It was an interesting tree. It wasn't just like a regular old tree.
It was a special tree.
It was a special tree. The way it was shaped and it had the certain hole in it right there.
And it had an iPad strapped to the pole.
What I'm saying is, if the defense wanted to really hammer home, there is no way to prove that that tree is so distinctive and it could not possibly be mistaken for another tree. But it really doesn't matter all the same, because at the end of the day, even if he was found not guilty with respect to Krista, he's more than likely going to be found guilty with Bart, and it changes nothing.
Correct. Again.
So I'm just saying,
I think that's why they're not focusing a whole lot on his mother. From what I've seen, they've put more focus on his dad's body.
Well, there was
which
frankly more of
obviously,
his dad.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to determine things from a leg and an ankle or with a foot, which tells me,
Well, not Jody. That's your foot.
well,
That's your mole.
she's such a mess. But yeah, I'm just saying that that's what makes me really think
Can
that,
we measure time with hair?
yeah, Jody, we can. I don't know.
Well, my final verdict is that was some pretty damn good, compelling testimony.
It really was,
Yep.
particularly when you group everything that we already know together.
Yes.
I think that I maintain that his original plan was to destroy everything in the fireplace. And I maintain that he likely used alcohol on their bodies. It's very difficult to, clothing is flammable, but you need a little something in order to make it burn continuously, even if it's pieces. So that's what I think happened. And then I think when the pain blew out, as it were, I think that stopped it. And I think that what was left, there might have been maybe there were a few more pieces, and those went to the dump. But he had to put them
Well,
somewhere that
the
they would be
dump was
discovered.
closed now that I think about it, but I remember them saying they searched the dump, but I remember somebody saying the dump was closed because of the holiday. Maybe it
Oh.
was him in his interview.
I mean, I guess we'll figure it out. I'll look into it. Hey, Seth, because that makes no sense. If the dump was closed and that came from somebody at the dump, then why would they search the dump? If something is closed, he would have no access to it. So what would be the point of searching? That must have come from somewhere else and not being you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that he may have said that he was going to take trash to the dump, but the dump was closed. I think it was him that said it.
And
Or maybe that's what made them go search the dump.
but also you have to okay, let's say that he did say he was going to go to the dump. It's also just as likely that he used public like the big trash cans like behind restaurants and stuff. And it's possible that those were emptied Monday or Tuesday. So maybe that's why they ended up also searching the dump. Because
I pay attention how people hold their writing utensils too, Allie.
I wasn't paying attention to that. I never noticed how I was holding it. I do want to get that pad of paper
noticed.
though and find out what he was doodling. Well, I didn't notice him doing the crazy pen clicking. So
No, he just does the annoying scribble sketch. Like it looks like he's just like chicken scratching the same spot over and over. I don't know.
next time they pan over to him, I'll pay attention.
He was even doing that when the girlfriend was testifying. She was up there like crying, and they panned over to him, and there was like he didn't have any emotion. He was just sitting there, just chicken scratching.
I don't know. It's difficult for me to I wish there was a better angle because we're only getting a picture of him from the side. And it's hard to tell what his face, plus he's got the mask on, so that makes it even more difficult, you know? I wish they would have a catch him when he looks or something so we could get a full on face, you know?
I agree. And I wish we could have seen the girlfriend's whole face.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm really curious how the new situation that we find ourselves in with the masks is going to impact jurors, because they do talk. I mean, their notes are usually available. Obviously, they're turned over to the court afterwards. They're collected. They're not their property. They belong to the court. And they're looked at. And I'm very curious. Also, they've interviewed jurors afterwards, after a trial like that, especially a big one. And they talk a lot about looking at the defendant's face and basing some opinions off of facial expressions or lack of a reaction or a reaction. And you're just not going to see that.
I am interested though, because the girlfriend and Chazzle Dazzle went down to the police station at the same time, right? So there has to be an interrogation video
Of
of
her.
her.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested. Like,
Well, you know who would have access to that?
the police station.
No. Well, besides them, who else?
The district attorney.
Yes. And who else?
The defense attorney.
Very good, Mo. Ding, 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 ding.
I was just gonna say that.
Was the
So,
girlfriend? Oh, the girlfriend testified. We really need to rewatch the girlfriend. Nonstop Mom said it was the girlfriend that testified about the dump. I knew I
okay.
heard somebody say it.
So, well, then we're definitely going to revisit her, but so let's maybe we will see it because they have it.
Yeah, I hope we do.
I'm kind of
Well,
curious.
we'll see it eventually, anyway.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
Rita,
wanna,
we requested the Freedom of Act, but they won't give anything till the trial's over. Freedom of Information Act, I meant to say.
If the jury had been sequestered, they might have, but they're not. So, anyway.
Hey, Seth, where do you live?
Good night,
Well,
Max.
that might be too personal. Sorry.
I'm glad I'm not iced in, I gotta say.
Good night, Max.
Because I'm iced in too. That's why I asked. I wasn't like trying to locate you. Wasn't going into stalker mode. Oh, okay. I'm in Virginia. All right, that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna leave it for tonight. I also want to say thank you to Dr. B, Momo, and Shamita for being up here. And Lupe, that's very sweet. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, me too. Crackling Rosie True Crime. We're not having no stinking snow in Florida. Although I'm not appreciative of it being like 59 or whatever it is degrees outside right now. That's winter levels, and that I was promised no winter in the brochure. I'm very upset about that, but I know it could be worse, so I'm not going to rub it in. But I want to thank
had
you.
a great time tonight. Hi, Seth. It was really fun. Thank you, juror number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, I just thanked myself. You know what I mean.
Well, yeah, it's important to recognize yourself, though, Dr. B.
Holy cow!
Holy cow!
I'm gonna go get a sip of that holy water. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Have we launched the holy water cups yet?
Yes, we did.
Did we? Okay, good. Because I need one. I need one of those.
Where's that? We should post the link.
Yeah, we'll have to dig it
Yeah,
up.
we need to start advertising it.
We do. We have merch. So, windows open in Arizona. I was born in Arizona. I was born in Tucson.
Yeah, it's -30 here. We're not opening any windows.
Okay, I'm sorry that you are in Antarctica or you're North Pole status.
Well, that's Celsius too.
Which is even worse.
correct.
Yeah, I
is
was
it?
like, what does
Yes.
that mean?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. I was
Yes.
trying to make
That's
it
why.
better.
No, that's why she's in Antarctica. That's why I joke with her so much, and I ask her if they travel by reindeer, or if they're putting their children on their feet and walking around like March of the Penguins, because it's
Yeah.
so dadgum cold.
We're supposed to get a crap ton of snow tonight. Like now it's calling for up to 50 centimeters, which is like 2
15.
feet.
Oh, is it 2 feet? 2
Something
feet?
like that.
That's too much. There are human beings that are 2 feet tall. That's ridiculous. No, thank you. How funny, Rita. I'm living in Florida, born in Arizona. You're living in Arizona, born in Florida. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no thank you. I don't no thanks. I don't want none of that business. No snow for Jen. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday night with
Thank
us.
you.
And tomorrow night is going to be the whatever happened to Pamela Smart. I should be ready for that at about 8 or 9. What?
Oh, sorry. I was mocking Allie.
Oh yeah. It's so little.
Yeah. So that's 50 centimeters is 19.6 inches. So not quite 2 feet.
That's ridiculous. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And remember, testimony resumes on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm
All
pretty
right.
excited. I want to see if he looks like crap.
Me too. All right. Well, I mean, that's not what I wanted to say. I'm just excited for testimony. All right.
Oh,
Good
I'd
night.
say
You.
he'll milk this COVID for
Oh,
all
he
it's worth.
will. He will. All right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Good night.